So everybody's, I'm Sharjeel, CEO and co-founder of Pazo Innovations. We are a Bangalore-based company. So everybody talks about digital transformation, right? They said everything should be digitally transformed. Of course, the retail industry is the forefront in digital transformation. For example, you have your POS systems, you have your counters, you have your e-commerce sites, right? So there's a lot of digitization in the retail industry already, right? And you must be wondering what more can be digitized. One of the challenges today is most of the digitization today has not reached the end worker, right? Operations today, most of the places is still manual, is still on pen and paper, right? You would have seen your frontline workers, maybe they use pen and paper, they use WhatsApp, to communicate and all that stuff. So we at Pazo believe that true digital transformation comes only when till the end worker, the last mile worker is truly digitized, right? And now we are going to talk about, why it's important for it to be digitized. Wait. So most of you are veterans in the industry. I don't need to tell you that. But the question is, how do retail brands, you hire entry-level staff, you hand over last mile execution to a team or to a franchisee, yet you manage to achieve consistent brand experience across thousands of outlets, keep your costs in check, and build a loyal customer base around the world. Today, a McDonald's is McDonald's because, of certain things. What is the reason? The answer is SOPs. You might already know, right? Standard operating procedures. All of you may be following, either, explicitly or implicitly certain standard operating procedures, right? But brands invest heavily. You invest millions of dollars in establishing standard operating procedures. You have teams, you have operation teams, you have regional managers, you have district managers. You spend heavily, but the challenge is there is no way to verify adherence, right? What do you tell them? You tell them to fill up pen and paper. You tell them to send WhatsApp images, right? And it's highly unstructured. Today, what are the stuff we use? Use WhatsApp, use email, use pen and paper, use PDFs, right? To ensure all your SOPs are being adhered to, right? But there are challenges. You don't know whether the SOPs were adhered on time. You don't know whether SOPs were adhered from that store itself. That person may be sitting at home, right? And whether actually the SOPs have been adhered to, right? These are the challenges which most retailers face. You have zero visibility of all your tasks. You have 100 stores, you have 1,000 stores. You have stores in smallest of villages. You have no visibility whether those SOPs are being adhered to. You have no visibility whether inspections, audits, your licenses, your compliance, there is zero visibility on that, right? You just have to trust them. You have to trust them by their word. There's painful back office digitization. Somebody brings all these checklists, they digitize it, they upload it on Excel, they send it to the management. Cost per paper is pretty high. You spend lots and lots on paperwork. Reconciliation takes time. You have to conduct surprise audits to ensure they are actually being. You have to send people to conduct audits, right? There's zero agility. There's no way to reach the end worker. You don't even know who's the person who's actually managing the store. And the data may be inaccurate, right? These are the challenges which you face. Right. So I'm talking about Pazo, but there are a lot of other softwares. I have to be honest about that. So what does digitization mean? It means that you can ensure all tasks are done from the right place at the right time. This is very important. You have a store opening checklist, right? So it is important that person fills the checklist during, so for example, it's at 8 a.m. You have to ensure that the person fills the checklist at 8 a.m. You have to ensure that he's actually doing the task from a certain location. And you have to ensure that the task is actually being done. So there are something like smart checklists, which only open at a certain point in time, right? They open only at a certain geographical location. And as a part of the checklist, they are supposed to take live photos. They cannot upload old photos. They cannot upload photos, which they have taken 3 weeks back, 4 weeks back, and all that stuff, right? And if they answer yes or a no, for example, if they answer no, if they say the trial room is clean, if they answer no, automatically a ticket can be raised for somebody to come and fix it, right? So this is how you get digitization into the last mile worker. And there is, of course, the district manager who gets a view of which store is doing well, which store is not doing well, what is the problem in which store, and where the operations are lacking, where the operations are actually being done. And the management can get a beautiful dashboard to see day by day, store by store, which store is the problematic store and which store is actually doing well, and you can reward them. And you can even recognize the end worker, right? Today, you cannot recognize a person who's actually doing well at the store. The only thing, the only recognition is based on his sales targets and all that stuff. But there are operational people who are doing a lot of work. These people need to be recognized too. Also, customer complaint and feedback. Today, what happens is, maybe you have a SMS system or an email, they email you or they call you, right? But if they want to raise a complaint directly and the end worker needs to fix it, without management intervention, you can directly, with a solution, with a digitized solution like Pazo, you can directly, customers can just scan a QR code, raise the issue, it'll go into the system, they have a turnaround time to come and fix it, right? There's no need for people to follow on. If they don't do their work, immediately an escalation is raised and people can come and fix it, right? So this way we ensure, all the day-to-day operations, physical operations, happen in a clockwork fashion. Now I'll introduce my company, Pazo. We are a 5-year-old company. We're back. We have some of the top customers like Bata, TVS, Brand Factory, Jockey, Future Group, all of them. These are all our customers who are using Pazo. And trust me, even today, Future Group is going through rough time. Even some of the stores which are open, they still continue using Pazo, right? That is the level of this thing. Most of our malls use our software. We are there in retail, shopping malls, facility management, and all this. We are pretty well recognized. We won the top 10 startup awards by NASSCOM. We have been there in the media. We are a Techstars-backed company. For those you know, Techstars is one of the biggest accelerators in the world. They're something like Y Combinator, if you have heard of them. We are also backed by Metro Cash and Carry and all this. This is Suresh Sajwani. That's his testimonial. Yep.